Hey, how's it going, guys? Let me move myself to the middle just for a second. I hope you're all doing very well. Before we roll this video, which was recorded a while back, today I'm speaking to you. It's the December the 15th. All I want to do is to present to you guys a thank you and a present for this Christmas. We're going to be giving away a $50,000, a $100,000, and a $200,000 evaluation account for mentfunding.com. Completely free. You don't even have to visit the website. You don't have to join my mentorship. You just have to watch this video. All I'm going to ask you is that at the end of this video, you go into the comments and you leave a comment talking to me about what you learned or what you noticed from this specific video and this teaching. Leave a hashtag mentfx and follow me on Instagram at mentfx. And that's all you have to do. Enjoy your time with your family, enjoy your vacations, and the next year, take the markets by storm, take your education by storm, and focus on the stuff that you know you need to be focusing on. And without further ado, enjoy the video. Quick disclaimer, these videos are meant for educational purposes only. Anything said or shown in any of these videos are personal opinion and my perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, so anything done is your responsibility. I have a breakdown of this on my YouTube channel when I got in on this one here using this exact same model for entry, the 3-box system within an overall narrative of higher to lower time frame, left to right structure as I teach here on this channel. If you don't know anything I just said, you need to pause this video, go back to my beginning, work through my entire content, and then you'll be here and a lot of what I'm saying right now will make sense. And that's where I hit my 403 RR trade, which is very beautiful. Right, but because we've exited that kind of context where we can kind of get on, look at any lower time frame, any kind of intermediary time frame, and just play the zones to continue on a direction, we've now entered that area, as I spoke about in the last video on mastering your patience and in trend following, where we need to be aware that this is more so now a market of back and forth, and as a result, we need to be pinpoint in the areas we use and the areas we confirm and then the areas we take, and in some cases the kind of management we utilize in our system. So what I mean by that is just now in my AU trade, right, even though this one, so now it's coming back, but even though this could have been a huge runner that continued going to the next 3-box high, and then this could have been, if it ran, again, I don't play the if game, 30 RR, but I don't play the if game here. I've never played the if game. We don't do this whole what if thing. If you're, every time someone asks me, but what if price went up here and you got out early? Well, I'd say to them that, what if your grandma was a trillionaire? You probably wouldn't be learning to trade. You don't need to be trading. Your grandma would give you the money, but neither of those are the case, so we're not going to play the what if game because that's one of the easiest ways to get yourself in this mentality of adrenaline hooked junkie and focused on the potential rather than the math that is proven to you. So that's not what I do, right? Now, we're aware that it can go back and forth, and we just had huge news come out. So I personally get on usually around 7 a.m. my time. That's 7 a.m. EST. That's when a lot of money comes into this market. That's overlap between London and then New York opens, right? So that's when I start watching these markets. And then at around 7, I do my normal scan of the day by going ahead and just opening a quick and easy economic calendar. So I opened up my economic calendar right here, and then I saw that 8:30 a.m. there was huge high red news. So you guys can go in, set up your economic calendar to just show high news because that's all I care about. And you guys can see there was this high red news at 8:30 a.m. So at that point, there's nothing I'm going to do. So I got up at around 7, found out there's red news at 8:30. So I'm not going to trade for the hour before that because there's no need. You're going to let the dumb money do whatever they need to do, get stopped out multiple times, enter, get spreaded out of trades, get all upset, get slipped out, don't know what's going on, get confused, get mad at the system, put in their money, like throw in more money, lose all their money, let the dumb money get stopped out, let them get liquidated, let them play the dumb game and then come in after, right? Like if there's a Coliseum and there's like bulls and all this shit that you have to fight, and there's a bunch of people, your best bet isn't to run at them and go, yeah, I'm gonna fight. Your best bet is to walk away and go stand in the corner and let every other dumb individual that's like, I need to fight the gorilla or the grizzly bear, whatever it is, fight it, right? Let them all die, let them all get hurt, let them all get tangled, let them all break their legs, and by the time the gorilla or the bear is like taking a little break, maybe panting a little bit because it's been fighting for hours against all these people that just really wanted to fight, you can come in, boom. Okay, maybe not punch it, but grab your mace, hit it once, and it's dead. And you get no scratches, right? It might reach out for you and grab you with a little scratch. Maybe you take a -1 or a break even. But you come in at the end when all the dumb money has done their job, and you eat, right? You follow that footprint of what's going on. You slay the beast with no issue. That's exactly what happened here. We waited till around our 8:30 mark. The huge news hit, went insane on a number of pairs. You know, we don't know if we're bullish or bearish. We don't really care. We're waiting for our 3-box system to show us what it wants to do. And with precision and well-picked zones, we can confirm those for potential entries and maybe get scratched if it's a bad one, right? So in this case, all the dumb money was piling into sells in this case, as we can see now, but piling into sells and buys back and forth, getting stopped out right before news with big spread, getting back in, getting emotionally in, hitting that jacking lever of gambling that they need to hit for like extra money, and then you get the breaks up. I'm gonna pause for just one sec. All right, sorry about that. Just had to pause for a second. I have a little bit of construction going on at home because I'm building up a new office, but it should make releasing new videos, better space, better atmosphere, better office space for me very soon. So back to this. Let the dumb money play and fight the beast. Let the dumb money tire the beast out. Let all their money come in, get wiped, and then step in and look for your clarity. Have a battle plan every single day. Don't be afraid. Don't be the person that gives into this cowardice of going and standing at the back while everyone else fights, fist over fist, just puts all their money and gets it all liquidated. You don't want to be part of that game. You're not here to do that. You're thinking for yourself. You think independently, and you want to approach the market from that perspective. So clearly, as that 8:30 rolls around, right on the dot, huge movement comes in, displaces to the top side. You know, this is a clear displacement. No matter what time frame you might be watching, there's a clear displacement up here, whether it be here or off a lower time frame. For me personally, when I was looking at this, you know, I know there's displacements across multiple time frames here, but the one I was looking at personally was this break of this high here. And as a result, you know, you have this zone and this zone that you can consider, but because of the market context, as I spoke about, higher and lower intertwining together, due to the market context, I want to use the most precise zones I can. So when price gets there, if I'm confirming, I'm very confident in the fact that if I get my confirmation, I'm either taking one loss, one break even, or an instant win. So using, you know, this zone and this zone, even though it's fine, you might be taking a few losses here as a result. And again, you don't have a higher time frame context that allows you to continuously look to get in on one side of the market. So instead, what I did is I just drew this guy out, and that's all, right? At the same time, due to the fact that we have a market condition that isn't optimal for just trading one potential pair at the moment, at least for me. Now, you might be a little bit different. I'm happy to look at other pairs to see where they are in reference to the same thing. So I also looked at GU during this time, and you can see a very similar thing is going on. There's still displacement to the top side. The same dumb money is getting liquidated. I was watching a few things this morning just for fun, but again, I'm not going to be trading prior to 8:30 because we're all aware that that's when the red news comes in. And again, the dumb money is going to do their job and get liquidated because that's what they do all the time, and they force things. And then when they're done forcing, that's when we can step in off the footprint. So 8:30 comes in, same thing. You have this low to this high, right? You have the break of structure to the top side right here. You have the S&D that matches that up. So there's one right here. Also, this one's mitigated. So we follow that through to this unmitigated portion right here. We could also break it down to the unmitigated higher time frame MB here, which is actually a private mentorship concept. So I'm not going to break this down right now. So basically, as someone that's only following my public YouTube, you have this zone right here and this zone right here. Both are fine. But at this exact point, I would only stick to EU because there's one solid zone rather than two potentially larger zones. You know, therefore you'd have to maybe make them part of the same one, which allows that zone to be now bigger, which means that, you know, more potential losses if you're confirming with a smaller time frame. So once again, something that I don't personally do. I then looked at AU because we know that these three are usually going to move the same. Just take a look at where it was. And upon looking at it, what do you see? The same displacement, all is there. And in this case, again, moves away, leaves that break of structure. So again, the same SSC mentality and approach every single time. Let structure and S&D set up, then look for your confirmation. Price comes into my zone. So at this point, these are still nowhere near these points, but AU came beautifully into the last mitigation, and it's a relatively smaller area. So at that point, I confirmed it with my 5-second and 1-second. I'm not going to break that down specifically here. Instead, that breakdown will be reserved for this Sunday in the private mentorship. That's going to be webinar 77 once it's out, and that's going to be recorded with the team live on November 20th. So if you end up joining after November 20th, which is when this video is probably going to be posted, you can go and check that out. November 20th is when it's going to be posted, and it should be called Webinar 77. So I confirmed this move. I began to take it up. Again, I usually have my first partial set at 1 to 10 RR, unless there is a specific context of the market, and unless I have rules met that allow me to exit. Again, I never exit just because. Every time I exit, there's rules that are being followed. There's rules that are being broken down. In this case, I applied my double MB exit strategy past the 5RR mark, as I teach in the private mentorship. And due to the uncertainty that I personally have around the higher time frame context of this market at the moment, due to the things I spoke about with you guys on this YouTube channel in the 50-minute video talking about patience as well as trends, I am not more willing to hold long-term trades, especially when my rules for a potential exit are met. So when my rules for a potential exit were met inside of here, I closed at 5.75 RR in profit. I closed 100% of my trade, just around there. Again, this is going to be fully broken down in the private mentorship. Closed my 5.75, and that's me done for the day. Yeah, it kept going. It could have kept going. It could have played this what if game. You know, what if your grandma was a trillionaire? She's not. Get over it. Price is now coming back. So in this case, specific case, my rules did a great job of getting me in, getting me out, and keeping me out of what would have been a losing or break-even trade. That is why you have rules in place. So today's video is going to be actually quite short. I think we're only at like 10 minutes right now. Yeah, 12 minutes. But it's to talk about the fact that, you know, when there's uncertainty, you should have rules around the kind of uncertainty that you have, right? Even though I'm certain that we're probably undergoing a longer term, higher time frame accumulation that's going to result in this kind of movement down the line, I am uncertain in which breaks of structure are going to take place now, which means I'm uncertain entirely about what exact direction or zone price is going to move off of. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use specific refined zones of clear moves to me during my sessions, during liquid hours, outside of news and red news, to go ahead and trade. And that means I'm going to be potentially taking more break evens, more minus ones. But what it does also mean is I'm probably going to be taking less huge runners unless they start off beautifully, and then I can kind of step back and let them do what they need to do. Maybe I don't have my rules met for actually getting an exit. But in this scenario, right, as that news comes in, as the dumb money is wiped out. So this video will have twofold, right? One is that you start to recognize those things about trends and what you should do in times of uncertainty and how you should try to refine and choose very, very clear zones for yourself to trade. And two, how to actually approach red news. And that is, let the dumb money do the fighting for you. Let all the dumb money that thinks they know what they're doing, that thinks they understand the news, that think they, you know, can predict at this time, that think they can get that big move. Because again, news usually produces a large move, and if you're on the right side, it looks really good. But even then, spread, if you've ever traded live, you know this, spread can still take you out even on a long, or it can put you into a big loss, it can put you into margin, all this fun stuff. So let the dumb money do the dumb fighting, stand at the back, and be the coward by being at the corner, and then come in at the end unscathed, untouched, and win the battle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick little video. That is what I did personally today. And yeah, and that's how you can also use multiple pairs to follow, you know, the one that provides the best mitigation, because even off these higher time frames, you know, once this daily finally accumulates or completes accumulation and it has these beautiful moves, some 3-box moves will never make it back into the 3-box criteria, into your refined zones. But on AU or GU, which move similarly or in correlation to EU, they might actually make one of those moves that come all the way down, just like AU did today with its 1 minute that came into here, where EU and GU never did. And as a result, that's where I got my trade, that's where I got my management met, that's where I got my rules met, and as a result, I finished the week at this point profitable. This was actually my first week of my first trade of the entire week. And guess what? Once again, last point before I end out this video, every single day so far, 15 and 14, even the like 11, 10, and 9, I believe there was not a single trade that I took. Just nothing was available to me, nothing presented. Guess what? I'm still showing up every day. Just because I'm making a video now after something has, you know, finally played out, doesn't mean that today is the only day I chose to trade. I think that's something that people forget. Just because you've shown up to trade does not mean you need to trade, right? Showing up to trade just means you're showing up to analyze, when the rules are then met as a result of you showing up to analyze, that is when execution should take place, right? You don't want to be in this emotional herd mentality. You don't want to be in this dumb money mentality of trying to get positioned right before news to try and figure out where that news wants to go. You don't need to be trading every single day that you're on. When you're watching people in a community taking trades, even when you're not, it's a very good way to build that resilience to needing to emotionally be in everything, right? If I go into this Discord, there are a number of people today, yesterday, days before, weeks before, that were in trades and taking trades and killing it on trades. Now, on one hand, you can be the kind of person that looks at that and gets really demoralized that you're not getting any trades and tries to force stuff as it happens. Or you could be the kind of person that sees that, says that is that person's individual edge that is playing out. They might have a trade tomorrow, might not have a trade tomorrow. They might have a trade when I have one, or might not. But what matters is that I train myself to see people constantly getting in on the price action I'm watching, while I personally don't have to touch a single thing because I know what my rules are and what kind of environment and, you know, rule set and confirmation I am going to wait for personal execution. That's exactly what happens. I watch people take stuff throughout the day. I compliment, I critique, I give examples, I see examples. Other people gain experience from those examples, but it's not about me needing to catch the trades they're catching, and it's not about being in every single trade, and it's not showing up to try and get a trade. The only reason you show up every day is because you're waiting for your rules to be met. If those rules are never met, there's nothing for you to touch. So remember that going forward. Remember to let the dumb money do the bidding, do the bidding for you, and then come in. And remember to allow yourself to look at a few pairs that might be similar, because some are going to have optimal 3-box setups in relation to, you know, the smart money that's getting involved, and others might not. But if you understand the context between them, you can do a lot for yourself. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all in the next video.